the Raw Women's Champion, still the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Meh.
Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is Diaz.
I'm your dad bod demigod. My name's Joey Mayberry.
And then we have the most controversial guest we've ever had on our live weekly show. Izzy's here! Yes!
Hi, what's up? Thank you for having me on again. I'm noticing my forehead is very shiny. The lighting is not in my favor tonight, but we're here.
It's always great to have you, and we have a great Bayley match.
Yes, unfortunately, I don't have the headband right now. I'm moving pretty much this Friday, so everything around me is packed up except for my brick wall. So
I actually just moved in yesterday. I'm gonna have my YouTube corner somewhere, but I'm still unpacking.
It looks great.
Oh, thank you. But anyway, let's get right into it. Is not Backlash. It is WrestleMania Backlash.
With zombies.
We love the zombies. No, we don't.
We've got two women's championship matches, Raw and SmackDown. So let's start with the opener of this pay-per-view, Raw Women's Championship match. It is the Raw Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. Cue Joey.
This is my brutality!
And we've got Asuka. And we've got the queen of triple threats, Charlotte Flair.
The Queen Charlotte Flair. This Queen Charlotte Flair. If she's not in the match, would you even care?
Charlotte Flair looked absolutely great with that Cruella de Vil outfit.
I was loving that. I was living for that outfit. Usually her gear, it's pretty basic, but last night she snapped. She was like, I'm here, y'all.
She looked great. It was the one and only time during this PG era that Jerry the King Lawler could have made a puppies joke and it would have flown. That was it.
Is this just me or everyone feeling it? Something about Charlotte has changed since she came back. Do you sense it too? Something's different.
Yeah, I don't know. And like, she looks different. I don't know. Like, it's so strange. I don't know if I think it's because of her gear. Her gear kind of changed, and so I was like trying to pinpoint it, but she looks so different now. And like, I don't mind some change, but she just, I don't know, there's something about her. And I think obviously with the whole persona and her really kind of taking over Raw, I feel like that's the biggest change that we're all noticing. I feel like she just looks totally different. Wow, she looks so good. She really does, and her gear, it's amazing.
She looks snatched beyond belief. In the wrestling ring, she learned how to counter. In the last couple months, she learned how to contour. Because girl is on point. Like, legitimately. She's transformed into this new Charlotte Flair for this kind of reinvented gimmick. And I really feel it's full circle at this point.
Something about the way she carries herself, it seems different, but the booking is the same, where it's all about Charlotte Flair. This triple threat, I feel like it was a lot about Charlotte Flair being Charlotte Flair.
I agree.
Oh, it was 100% about Charlotte Flair, because commentary was just like, Charlotte Flair's got all this writing on it. Charlotte Flair got herself inserted into the match. Charlotte Flair's defeated Asuka. Charlotte Flair's defeated Rhea Ripley. Like, legitimately, if you played a drinking game where you drank every time someone said Charlotte Flair, you wouldn't have made it past the first 5 minutes. You'd be done.
I get that, like how all they were talking about Charlotte and everything, you know, that's Charlotte, and I feel like that's why she's so different. And you know, I said this last time on Ring the Bell, and everybody was coming after me, but there's Charlotte Flair and everybody else. It's so true, and I'm gonna stick to that quote till the day I die. And I feel like Charlotte, she's just creating this new legacy. She's building her own path, which I really admire about her. But I thought the match, it was fun. I had high expectations going into it. You have two women in Asuka and Charlotte who have tons of experience. Then you have Rhea Ripley who's gaining that experience and really is becoming such a well-rounded fighter. So I felt like it all played off well together. And I will say the two MVPs of the match were Rhea, or not Rhea, I'm sorry, Asuka and Charlotte. No hate to Rhea.
We've seen Rhea versus Asuka for a couple times, and it did not go well, let's be honest. Charlotte being there added by default. Also, on top of that, this was a pretty ambitious triple threat match. It was not one of those, like, one person is sleeping outside while two's doing, you know, the switching thing, triple threat. This was pretty ambitious. It was back and forth. There were points I feel like the chemistry was a little off, but overall, I think the point for me when it got really good was after that double natural selection. After that, it was just so good, this match.
That double natural selection was just also set up so well. That double knee where she just took out both the legs of Asuka and Rhea and then hit it. I popped for that because once I saw it coming, I was already screaming. It was a great setup. Honestly, when she covered both Asuka and Rhea, I was like, no, the internet's about to just hate everything.
The ending. Everyone seems to be upset about that because Charlotte Flair was on the apron, right?
She was on the apron, but when she booted Asuka, she went back off the apron.
Oh, she flew out. That was the logic. I saw tons of complaints about, like, Charlotte was right there, what was happening? Joey explained it for all of you. So that's what happened.
You're welcome.
I think it's pretty obvious that it's going to be Charlotte and Rhea going forward, and Asuka is going to be sayonara. She's going to be taking a break for a little bit, unfortunately.
I feel so bad because Asuka, she literally carried the women's division in 2020. Besides Sasha and Bayley, I know that was like kind of those were the main people, but she was like a workhorse, and that's what I really loved about her. So I'm a little sad that she's going to be kind of going away for a little bit, but I feel like when she returns, it's going to be something really special and amazing. And you never know, it could be in front of fans, because I know there's a lot of rumors WWE might go back in front of fans. I think we're ready to go back on the road. I'm ready.
You know what I'm not ready for? Rhea versus Charlotte. I'm not ready for it whatsoever.
Oh my God.
I don't need any more. Give me someone new. Something new. Rhea versus Alexa. Rhea versus Nikki Cross. Rhea versus Shayna Baszler. Rhea versus Nia freaking Jax. Anything that's different than these same three women. Literally, where do you go with this storyline? I love the ending with Rhea Ripley being a little bit of like a bratty champion, like that kind of thing. I thought that was something different out of her, but this whole storyline, just interject some new lifeblood into it. Give me a new girl in the ring. Something that just freshens up this feud, because Raw's got this problem across the board. From the men all the way to the women. It's just been the same people fighting the same people.
You know, I'm mixed about it because as you're going through the name, I am intrigued, but at the same time, I don't think Rhea has established herself as a stable person that we can go to, you know? Her character needs a lot more depth. Her wrestling, too, that was her forte, but that's been kind of unstable right now. So I feel like almost having someone like Asuka or Charlotte to help build her is the right move to do. Somehow the chemistry with Asuka's off, so I feel like that's why Charlotte's there to help her out. Hopefully, let's just hope that that's the reason why she's there, not for a 14 or 15 or 16 title reign.
Yeah, that's a strange thing to say about Rhea Ripley, because you look at the tenure that she had in NXT, like her feud with Raquel that she came out of right before she went to the main roster was so good, so crisp, and I'm wondering if what's going on Raw is just somebody, you know, messing with the formula that's already complete, that is Rhea Ripley.
You know, actually, that's a question I have for Izzy, because, you know, Izzy, you know the front and back of NXT. Something about NXT stars when they come to main roster, there are a lot of times their performance doesn't follow through main roster.
I've thought about it, and it breaks my heart, because you see these people, they're doing great in NXT, they're just, you know, they're thriving, as people like to say, and you're like, oh man, when they get to the main roster, it's going to be really incredible and something special to see. And then when they get there, it's just kind of, it's so anticlimactic. And I feel like that's happening with Rhea. I don't know, like, I'm trying to pinpoint it and, like, say it in, like, the right way, but it's just, there's nothing behind Rhea. Sure, we saw her have this title reign. Sure, we saw this amazing feud with Raquel. But that didn't just, I don't know, it had to be she had to end off strong in NXT, and I really don't think she did that. I feel like it was just kind of like, okay, you're going to fight Raquel. You guys are going to go through the ramp at Halloween Havoc, I believe it was at. And Rhea's going up. I feel like that really didn't prove that Rhea is ready to go to the main roster, and I feel like the big debate is Rhea didn't earn the title shot at WrestleMania, and that's my biggest issue. And I think DS, you really pinpointed it, how we can't really trust Rhea because, you know, her performance hasn't been that well lately, and that's the thing with Rhea being a champion. She doesn't have the experience. Sure, she was NXT Women's Champion, but still, like, she doesn't have the experience, and there's nothing to back her up, like I said. So I really think those are the main key parts about, you know, NXT superstars going up to the main roster, but also not being the best on the main roster. And I kind of feel like we're seeing that with Rhea Ripley right now. You know, what was it? A couple weeks ago, they did a whole segment with Asuka, Charlotte, and Rhea, and it was excellent. It was a lot of fun. But Rhea did not look like the champion. Like, Charlotte and Asuka, they ate that segment up, and that's my biggest issue with Rhea Ripley. She just doesn't look strong in certain situations, and I thought at Backlash, I thought she was kind of an afterthought, and I hate that feeling, especially with a champion.
If you think about it, I think they honestly, where Rhea went wrong, if you're going to put it in a terminology kind of like that, was when they took the belt off her at last WrestleMania and put it on Charlotte. Because that really derailed everything that Rhea Ripley had going for her. Because she had just beat Shayna. She came out of that big title picture. She had established herself on Raw. And now she's going up against Charlotte Flair, who had just run the Royal Rumble. It's kind of what they did to Asuka also with Charlotte Flair. Where they came from NXT. They were coming up to the main roster with a lot of momentum, and then the bus that is Charlotte Flair ran them over at WrestleMania and kind of derailed everything that they were possibly doing.
I completely agree, and I think if Rhea won, that would have changed so many things, and it would have created this crazy storyline that Rhea Ripley had her moment at WrestleMania, even though it wasn't in front of anybody. But it would have, gave her so much credibility that she beat Charlotte Flair, literally the top woman in the women's division.
Last year, we saw a similar thing with Shayna Baszler. I mean, she's been very stable performer at NXT, but then she came to main roster and it was like kind of wah, wah, wah. I almost feel like there is just different way of booking storylines or how they prepare matches between NXT and main roster, which is affecting the NXT call-ups, you know? I think they need some time to adjust. Maybe it was great that Bianca had all that time filming those EST promos. What do we think about Charlotte Flair? Is she gonna go through Mickie James Victoria route and be a little psycho, or what's happening here?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't have a clear-cut prediction for this, or even where I see it going, because right now, it just feels like they are chucking darts at a wall and seeing what might land, what might stick. There's not really a congruent storyline to all this. To be honest, I'm more intrigued by the relationship with Sonya and Charlotte than I am anything else.
Charlotte Flair, I don't really know where she's going to go from here, because I feel like if she defeated Rhea Ripley at the next pay-per-view, which is Hell in the Cell, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like there would be no cause for Rhea's title reign. So I don't really know what we're gonna see. It's really confusing. I feel like literally if you would have had Rhea win last year, I feel like it would have changed a lot. And if you didn't have Rhea win this past WrestleMania, it would have changed a lot.
You changed my opinion on the whole I don't want to see Rhea versus Charlotte, because you said Hell in a Cell in that match. Yes, ma'am. I will take that. Charlotte versus Rhea.
Let's move to SmackDown Women's Championship match, Bayley versus Bianca Belair. I freaking love this promo, and I think I'm in love with Bayley. I am.
Aren't we all?
No, Ring the Bell was very against Bayley when she first turned heel, but lately I'm obsessed with Bayley. I love her hair. Just a little tweak in her character from annoying heel to oh wow, this is kind of creepy, and I'm kind of scared heel.
She really is, and I feel like she's doing great with this new character. And I always say this whenever people ask me what do I think of the whole Bayley heel change, or heel turn I should say. I think she's doing great for having playing this baby face for years and years and catering to a certain group like little girls, like this girl right here. But I currently love her character. You know, I feel like she's still playing that annoying girl where you're just like, oh my god, go away. But she's also playing that, does this girl have some issues? Get her to a therapist. What is wrong with her? I love that, and I love that kind of fight between, the viewer, and you're like, oh my god, what is Bayley gonna do next? Where is she? It's a lot of fun. It's a really fun game to play, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the match. And here's the thing about Bianca Belair. I feel like she's great during the chase of the championship. You love it. You want to root for her. You want to see her win the championship. But when she wins the title, it's not the moment was really cool at WrestleMania. Making history, y'all. I love making history. I mean, who doesn't? But afterwards, it's just, and I saw so many tweets where it was Bianca's already boring, yada yada yada. And I wanted to say to everybody, I saw a couple tweets and I was a little confused, but I agree with those people because, I feel like it was just, she's all about the chase. She's really great during the chase. She has that classic baby face story. So that's why this match, it wasn't my favorite of the nights, but I feel like they kind of started off a little wonky and they had to find a way to get on the same page. And at the end, they really did. Now, I feel like that Bianca cheated. That's not what champions do. With Bianca playing a baby face, that's not cool. I'm just saying, and I'm not being biased here. I know everybody's probably watching at home being like, Izzy is so biased. Like, what the heck? She's the Bayley girl. Yada yada. She probably got her hair cut just like Bayley. No, I started the trend, y'all.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
that's not what champions do. You're supposed to be playing this role model, no pun intended, and really just show the women's division what you're all about. And I don't feel like Bianca did that on Sunday. She cheated, in the words of Bayley.
I do agree with Izzy on the Bianca getting a little bit boring kind of thing. And I don't...
Oh my God.
Well, I don't think that's any fault of Bianca because she comes out there and she's still a superstar. She still oozes charisma.
Oh, she looked great in this gold flip mermaid gear. Oh, so good. So
I love that.
So good. But also to your point, DS, that promo before the match, that made this look like $1 million, whereas the actual build to this match was a little bit just lackluster, because the thing you really need for a champion like Bianca Belair, like Izzy said, she's really good at chasing, and she's really good at being an underdog, even though she's so good. She shouldn't be an underdog, but she plays to it so well. I think what would have made this match work a little bit better is we really only saw Bayley get that one rose plant on her before WrestleMania Backlash. If you would have let Bayley come in and legitimize herself as this girl is a threat to Bianca Belair, I think that would have really made this match a little bit more, because what they kind of did was just had Bayley come and laugh, and even going into the match, it was they're not going to give it to Bayley. It didn't feel like she was going to walk out with a title at all.
I agree. This match definitely had that vibe where it's the first match of 3-4 matches to come. It definitely had that vibe. I do have to say though, I think face champion, that chase after you win, it's after you got a good donut or something. You don't know what to do after you have a really good meal. Just sitting there what do I do with my life right now?
I feel like that every day.
After you have a really good donut, according to Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, you turn on your best friend. And
That's just kind of a just general WWE, or I guess storytelling problem in general. After your protagonist win, that's something that they've been clamoring for the longest time. What do you do after that? That is very tough. To give Bayley credit, I think she did a really good job, because she was almost ultimate heel cheating package set. She literally did everything. She did the eye rake, she did the hair, she did the stare, she did everything. She brought it to this match. So in that sense, I was kind of entertained by this match, but I understand that the hair thing is a cheating technically. I do understand it too. He was technically cheating at the WrestleMania match too, when she whipped Sasha with it. But I think for me it worked because Bayley was playing with the hair. And what did Bianca say? Don't touch my freaking hair. It also gave storyline a reason for Bayley to say, hey, you cheated. I need that match one more time.
yeah, it is cheating, but it's such a good face tactic, like you're saying, DS, because what Bayley did as a heel was she tried to do something a little bit underhanded and it backfired. So I see that working really well.
I agree, you guys are saying, but like I said, I feel like it was just it wasn't the best look for a champion, especially with Bianca. If Bayley was the champ and she did it, okay, cool. I don't think Bayley would have a long braid, but still, if Bayley cheated some sort of way at the end of a match, okay, cool, I get it. Here's the thing, if you really think about it, there are so many little girls that are looking up to her, and I'm not trying to start anything, but then they're gonna start cheating and everything. That's not very cool. That's not very nice.
This is gonna lead to all the little girls cheating around the world.
Yes! Okay, no, I'm joking. I know that's not gonna happen, but you never know. Like I said, Bianca, she's all about the chase, and I feel like she got in a WrestleMania moment, and like you said, DS, it's kind of that protagonist. You don't know what to do with them. You're like, what do I do with this person now? It's kind of like that. But hopefully, in some sort of way we kind of see the ball being picked up and they kind of create a title reign that's really fun and interesting and really different. That's what I want to see from Bianca, something different.
This match giving so much attention to hair, Bianca's hair being used over and over again, Bayley's hair being shaved. Is this a hair versus hair match? Is this a hair versus hair stipulation? What's going on?
Yes, please.
I think you called it. You called it. If we see a hair versus hair match, I'm going to tweet you and be like, you called it, my dude. I wouldn't be mad with that. I want to see Bell's Bayley. I always wanted to see that.
You know, during the Hall of Fame, Bayley spent a lot of time with Molly Holly, and maybe Molly Holly gave her some ideas.
Oh, I love Molly Holly. I love Molly Holly. I love her. She's like probably one of my favorite people ever. And I say that a lot about people, but I sincerely love her.
Joey, what do you think about Bayley versus Bianca? Is this going to continue? What do you think?
I think it's going to continue because that seems to be kind of the track that WWE's been doing lately is let's take this, let's stretch it out for as long as we can. If it leads to Bianca and Bayley in a cell, I wouldn't be really upset with that. I think that has so much potential.
Hell in a Cell using Bianca's hair or something will happen. I feel like that would be fun.
A hair versus hair match in Hell in a Cell. We put the little barber's chair, the scissors, and the razors, whatever hair products you use to cut hair, and put it in Hell in a Cell.
And then, you know, maybe after some program with Bayley, SummerSlam, Sasha versus Bianca too. You know, that could be fun.
Ooh.
And is there anybody else on SmackDown that could step up?
No. No.
Carmella. Let's not sleep on Carmella.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I forgot about Carmella. I'm not trying to disrespect her. I like Carmella. I love her character right now. I just want to go back to a time where everybody on the Twitter machine were talking about how we're going to see Bayley versus Sasha at SummerSlam. Oh my goodness. That time was like nostalgic. And everybody's wanting to see the 4 Horsewomen at WrestleMania. I'll never forget those times.
Remember the MMA 4 Horsewomen? What happened to that?
Oh my goodness.
That was supposed to be the dream match of WrestleMania.
Every WrestleMania you would hope for that, and then you would try to predict like how they're gonna get to that storyline. You'd be like, oh, okay, so Ronda's gonna face Sasha, and then like Shayna, Jessamine, and Marina are gonna come out, and then Charlotte, Becky, and Bayley are gonna come out, and it's gonna start. I'll never forget that. I would do that. I was that person.
Alright, so that is Backlash, right? Anything else? Anything else? We didn't get any Alexa Bliss situation, which I'm actually really excited to see whatever happening between her and Shayna or Nia, whatever. Congrats again to Natalya and Tamina. So happy for them.
I would just like to talk about how that laugh from Lily is the worst thing ever. It is so cheesy.
Matt, we need to get some help out here. Reginald being candidate.
It's like I was watching Raw right before we started to film this, and so I was watching Nia and Reginald on the floor. I couldn't with Nia's face. I wanted to screenshot her and use it as a meme just for my personal use, but I couldn't with the laughs. And Nia looked so confused, and Reginald was covering his eyes. The laugh was so cheesy. I really couldn't. I was like, oh my goodness.
Speaking of laughs, I have a request from you, Izzy.
Oh no, I'm not going to do the laugh.
Not that laugh. The Bayley laugh. I want to hear an attempt.
I'll go first.
I can't do it. I got too deep.
I got too hard pitch. Was that it?
Was it Bayley? Oh my god, that was so good.
I might have woke up my parents. Oh no.
On that note, we're gonna wrap this show up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for the WrestleMania Backlash review. Izzy, where can we find you?
Everywhere. Oh, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Pro Wrestling Tees. Across the board, it's Izzy Mania. Make sure you put in the It's My Dudes. You love it. You can check out my weekly show, The Hot Tag, with your girl Izzy, where I preview NXT and AEW and catch some incredible interviews with some incredible people. And there are some big ones coming up soon. We're trying to get some stuff started. I feel like ginormous is an understatement. This one, it's big, and I'm really excited about it. And you can head over to my Pro Wrestling Tee shop, and also you can shop homage.com and use code It'sIzzyMania for 15% off your first purchase.
You can find me at Joey_Mayberry on Instagram and Twitter, Joey.Mayberry on TikTok. Check me out here on Ring the Bell every Saturday where we're doing Ring the Bell Live. Every single Tuesday, you can check out my podcast, Tops and Bottoms, alongside Tommy Purr. Every Friday, I'm doing the Golden Era podcast alongside Jake Smith. And if you want to see me beat some people up in my underwear on the weekends, I will be at Chicago Style Wrestling here in Chicago on May 21st. I will be at Lucha Libre Total Chicago on June 18th, and I'll be making my Las Vegas debut for Big Valley Wrestling on June 26th.
Oh my god, Joey, booked and busy. And you can find me at DShin and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. And if you want to see me get on Trish Stratus drag, go to James Mansfield YouTube show and watch that episode right now. Alright, see you next week. Bye.